Dream team for the second week of the Six Nations. Spoiler alert, there are a whole bunch of English names on this list. Not surprising, kind of given the results, but hey, there are a few guys from other teams represented. So, yeah, I'll put the names up. You guys let me know your thoughts. As always, who you would have had in. All that kind of good stuff. And, yeah, we'll have a look. I will start with props. Some of my props, I'm just kind of looking at either side. I'm not too fast picking a loose head and a tight head, but for this week, I have gone with Alan Dell from Scotland. First thought here is probably, well, he was at fault for Carberry's break, which ended up being a try. It was a head clash between him and one of the other guys, which I hadn't noticed on first viewing, but somebody mentioned in the comments. I went back and watched it. Yeah, Carberry was going through a gap. Two players came in, head clash, and they both let go because, hey, they head-butted each other. But apart from that one tackle, he made 23 other tackles. I mean, we were all singing Vunipola's praises last week for 27. 23 out of 24 is also right up there for a guy in the front row. 4 runs, 4 meters, and a pass is nothing to really write home about in terms of ball carrying. It's very prop-like, but scrum-wise, the Scottish scrum was a fairly stable platform for the most part, up against a pretty dominant Irish pack. So, yeah, I'm giving Dell a spot there. On the other side, I've gone with Kyle Sinclair from England. 7 runs, 17 meters is actually more than what you would expect for a prop, but Sinclair is definitely not your average prop. 1 pass, but that 1 pass was a try assist. Shouldn't be able to make that kind of pass as a front rower, but he does have the hands of a back, that guy. 4 out of 5 tackles, solid effort, scrummaging good as always. Chirping, rolling guys up, and he copped a bit of stick himself, so yeah, doing what he does. Next, and I could have easily had this guy in last week, Jamie George, also from England, putting in a really solid shift now that he seems to be putting his hand up to be the #1 guy at #2 for England. 4 runs, 17 meters is a good return, 11 out of 11 tackles, even got a turnover amongst all that. And the English line-out, whilst not perfect, was operating pretty well functionally. So, yeah, give him a large part of credit for that as well. Second row, and it's another English name here. It is Courtney Laws. Didn't start last week, but got the nod this week to start and did not make anybody regret that. 10 runs, 20 meters. He's always been a pretty good ball carrier. 3 defenders beaten, made a pass. 15 out of 17 tackles is a very good work rate, including 1 massive hit on Bastero, who is a big man. And Laws flattened him and pushed him backwards. So, very, very big effort there from Courtney Laws. Next, alongside him from Ireland, I've gone with James Ryan. Was it his best effort in an Irish jersey? No, but he was kind of back into a bit more form than he was last week. 15 out of 15 tackles, 15 runs. The guy's got the work rate always, man. He's just always really solid. 16 meters, so only chuffing along about a meter at a time, but 15 carries is pretty huge. Even got a line-out steal, which is something he often leaves to someone like O'Mahony, but he got one himself this week, so good effort from the big man. Scottish locks were both very good as well, made a heap of tackles, so they could have gone with other options here, but I have gone with James Ryan. Loose forwards, remember I'm picking from blind sides, number 8s, and open sides in no particular number, but just amongst those guys. I've gone with Thomas Young from Wales. I know Navidi got man of the match, but I'm going with Young. If he didn't get man of the match, then he must have been going pretty close, because he had 7 runs, 12 meters, a clean break, 4 passes, 15 out of 16 tackles, got a turnover. He was doing all the stuff that you need a guy in his position to be doing, and could have had a try if the TMO hadn't chalked it off. So, yeah, him and Navidi, in a game where Wales didn't set the world alight, both looked really good. Next, I've also gone with Jamie Ritchie from Scotland. 5 runs, 13 meters, decent return, 6 passes, a turnover, so always kind of making his presence felt at the breakdown, and 24 out of 25 tackles, so 1 more than Dell. A lot of the Scottish forwards made a lot of tackles, both the second rowers, but yeah, Ritchie, along with that turnover, 24 out of 25 tackles, Very good effort from him. It was an area of concern, perhaps with some of the injuries going into the comp, but he's certainly putting his hand up. And lastly, I've gone with an Italian. I've gone with Brumstein. 12 runs, 24 metres and 2 passes, so he's making 2 metres at a time. Against that Welsh defence is a pretty good effort. He got a try. I do like tries, and he scored one from not far out, but he did the job. 20 out of 21 tackles and also got a turnover. Was busy in the line-out as well. I think he got a line-out steal from memory as well, and really made his presence felt. Other guys could have been here. Mahoney also put in a big shift for Ireland. Billy Vunipola as well. Not so much as tackle stats, but he was dominant at times, and a bunch of other guys could have been here too, but these are my picks. Scrum-half was tough because I didn't feel like there was one really outstanding scrum-half, but I've gone with Ben Youngs. His kicking game again was giving the French all kind of problems. It's just what he does really well. 6 runs, 11 metres, 83 passes including 2 offloads, 12 kicks, and like I said, a lot of those were giving the French back 3 issues, and 100% tackle rate, made 1 from 1. So yeah, I mean, Conor Murray scored a try, but that guy's still not playing at 100%. You can kind of see it in his performance levels. Other options possible, but given that performance as well, just how much the French were struggling with the kicks. How much of that is down to what Youngs is doing and how much of that is how the French were poor is a conversation. Fly half. I could have picked him last week as well, but I have gone with Owen Farrell this week. I didn't have that much of a choice. And if I was picking like one moment that was probably my favourite moment of the games, like Finn Russell's pass from his back to set up one of those tries, that was pretty magic. But overall, I think you got to go with Farrell. He also got a try. Had a try assist too with a big long pass. 10 runs, 46 metres, 2 clean breaks, 2 defenders beaten, 21 passes and offload. 10 out of 14 tackles is not a tackling stat to be that ecstatic about, but he also managed the turnover. His kicking was on point. His up and unders, his goal kicking for the most part was very good. Perhaps even by his own standards, not that great, but still very good. And he just really ran the show for England and put in a fair bit of pain over on the French. Midfielders, another guy who could have been in last week. I went with the English midfield last week, but I've gone with Sam Johnson from Scotland. He was on debut last week and looked very good, and he's continued that fine run of form here. He scored that try when I was talking about Finn Russell's pass. It was him that ran a good line to come onto it. He could see that there was still an opportunity there. 8 runs, 20 metres, 2 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks, 7 out of 7 tackles. So for a guy who's fairly inexperienced in his second game up against one of the best teams in the world, I didn't think he looked out of place, which was kind of testament to his performance. I have gone with another Englishman in the midfield though. I've also gone with Henry Slade. He scored another try. It's 3 in 2 games. 9 runs, 48 metres, 2 clean breaks, 2 defenders beaten, 7 out of 9 tackles. Kicking as well. He made 3 of them, and for the most part pretty sharp. So yeah, man, him alongside Tuilangi is looking like a very, very useful combo. Not done with my Englishman yet. Outside backs, could not pick Johnny May with that hat-trick effort. Feel like within like half an hour. 3 tries. One of them he made Pinot just look ridiculously slow. Just went straight around him. 12 runs, 46 metres, 2 clean breaks, 2 defenders beaten, 2 passes, 7 out of 10 tackles, 3 tries, man. Guy was on fire. Sometimes those games where things just go your way, he was having one of those ones. Not to say it was on a platter, but he got the ball in the right spaces and he did the job with it. Next, I've gone with an Irishman. I've gone with Carney. I mean, he came back, wasn't sure whether he'd be sharp, but he is just Mr. in control. And surprisingly, a lot of what he added was actually with the ball as well, not just his defensive control. So 13 runs, 88 metres, 5 defenders beaten, 3 clean breaks, 5 out of 6 tackles, and was just able to shore up that back 3 that they always looked, for the most part, pretty solid back there. And lastly, finish it off with another Irishman. I've gone with Jacob Stockdale. He scored a try. It was a very slick little move, and he burst through that gap. 4 runs, 60 metres, 6 defenders beaten, which is massive. A clean break, made 1 from 1 tackles, and it was his kick that helped set up the misread between Seymour and Maitland. It was his kick that was kind of well placed and put under pressure. That put that opportunity for Murray to go through. So he doesn't get a try assist for it statistically, but it was his kick that set the play up. That's my 15. Like I said, it's not a specific position by position pick. It's just based on these loose clumps of players. It makes it more interesting for me to pick it that way. But hey, you guys let me know your thoughts on players who should likewise be in here. No Frenchmen this week. They couldn't get in the side, but most competitive area for me was probably the loose forward. That was a bunch of guys that still could have made it there. Number 9 was probably the hardest pick in terms of finding one guy who was outstanding. But hey, you guys let me know your thoughts, and I will talk to you again soon. See you later.